Welcome back to the Anarchist Zinester vlog, where I give you updates about what the fuck I've been up to. So let's get into it. You seen in the montage right now, that's just stuff that I've been building this week. My wife has had me on one building stuff, all the stuff she's bought, and so that plus work plus school plus all the million projects that I'm fucking up to in life, kept me really busy. But with that being said, let's see how the fuck I did this week. So like I said last week, I'm not gonna keep updating y'all on the comics going well, drawings going well. This drawing I will share just because I like it a lot. But besides that, what have I been up to? I have been working on the one zine for this month. I'm hoping to finish it in these last few days and really crank it out and do the editing and all that good stuff. We'll see whether or not I can finish it, but if not, hopefully by the first week of February I have this zine done and then jump right into the next one. I think that's where I threw myself off, because the page that I submitted to the homie Ryan from Pocket Thoughts for that collaboration zine, it got my head going. So then I started working on a different zine, even though I knew I should have fucking worked on the original zine, which is story of my life, right? Like, whatever you're more interested at the moment is what I end up focusing on. And if you guys only knew how many zines I start and don't finish, or finish and just don't, I'm not even interested anymore, so I just don't ever share it. But yeah, should be done pretty soon. 10-5 Zine Fest, nothing so far. For the video uploads, I got the batteries that I needed for that new camera. So I'm really excited because I really want to crank out 3 zine reviews this week and try to keep that momentum of 3 a week. And so I know I'm gonna hit that 100 mark pretty quick if I can get that going and off the ground. One short film a month. I'm really excited about that because I actually have quite a few short stories that I've written, and I wrote another one, and so it's altogether 4 new stories that I wrote that I would like to make into short films. And then I have 2-3 other short films that I think I can make from projects that I started last year that kind of fell through, but nonetheless has a good portion that I can possibly use for a short film. Looking into that, maybe. And one of those projects, I think I'm gonna ask a fellow zinester to collaborate with me on that. She's doing videos right now, and I love her videos. And I'm going to link her channel on mine so you can peep it out, because if you're not watching Veeks' YouTube channel with the Veek Beats, you're missing out. And I know a lot of people didn't ask for it, but the Homegirl Sea Green Zine asked for me to share my thoughts on Fahrenheit 451 from my perspective. And it wasn't a lot of people that asked, so I'm not going to do a separate video for that. But pretty much that's all the updates I have this week. Nothing really much to mention besides the fact that the new book, I already began to read it and I'm well into it already. We'll be finishing that pretty shortly. But Fahrenheit 451, so what are my thoughts on that, my perspective on that? One thing that stood out to me was that Ray Bradbury seemed to have hostility towards film, towards comic books. He made it seem as though literature was the only thought-provoking thing, which is not necessarily true. That's one of the things that I liked about the remake, actually, where the remake kind of hinted of just radical or thought-provoking media was basically being burnt, and being omitted from the history books in general, not necessarily just literature. Ray Bradbury obviously focused on literature. I thought he was missing the mark on that. One thing that really stood out to me about the book was the lack of new writers. That would have been a fun aspect for him to have implemented into that, and I really feel like the Zinester character would have came out in that. Someone who just hand writes these little booklets that he's making and then tries to distribute them, and then finding that person, and then what does the government or the firefighters or salamanders do to that person? And like I said, when I was talking to the homie Craig from 5 O'Clock Zine, I was like, you know, for me as a zinester, put it in perspective, kind of like how dangerous and radical this is when you do, you know, make zines outside of the mainstream. Because if you ever read Noam Chomsky's Manufacturing Consent, where he talks about these systems that ultimately filter whatever makes it to the masses, you know what I mean? And so then when you make a zine, you cut through that, you know what I mean? And obviously we don't widespread it, but there's so many zinesters and there's so many different perspectives that we're making that I really do feel that there's thought. People are thinking. And some of that has to do with the shit that we do as YouTubers, as filmmakers, as zinesters, as writers, as whatever the fuck. Anytime you do it yourself, you're undercutting the mainstream, and thus you're hindering these filters that they put in place for you. And that's why when I read Fahrenheit 451, it made me feel empowered. It put something else in perspective for me, that sense of like, when is being overly sensitive also a way of curtailing someone's freedom of speech? Idea of a nation that becomes so sensitive that's why they start burning books and banning books. And that I chewed on that for a while, man, because it's rough, you know, like certain things are triggers and certain things I feel shouldn't be said. But then, you know, I'm sure that there's things that I say all the time, like fuck capitalism and things like that, that people think shouldn't be. You know, this shirt, for instance, someone argued with me was very offensive. It says, keep it simple, fuck Trump, stupid. And this shirt people thought was offensive. But I guess for me, is it coming from a place of dialogue or is it coming from a place of straight up hatred? You know, and I think that's the difference. And I think as long as we focus on that, right? Like, am I trying to make a point or am I just trying to degrade somebody? You know what I mean? And am I trying to build a bridge so that we can understand each other and better communicate, right? Or am I just trying to burn a bridge down for no reason? And I think that's the difference between hate speech and speech that ultimately is thought-provoking and might not be viewed as, you know, politically correct, or might be viewed as, you know, aggressive or hostile. Alright, you guys, that's all I got for you. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video. As always, like, share, and if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and fucking subscribe. Why the fuck not? Support what the fuck I'm up to. I would support what the fuck you up to. Once again, support what the fuck the homegirl Veeks is up to, because Veeks is one of my favorite zinesters, and she is very, very quickly becoming one of my favorite YouTubers. So go ahead and click that link to check her out. Alright, guys, lates.